Once upon this planet Earth lived a man of noble birth, preaching love and freedom for his fellow man. He was dreaming of a day peace would come to earth to stay, and he spread this message all across the land. Turn the other cheek, he'd plead. Love thy neighbor was his creed. Pain, humiliation, death, he did not dread. With his Bible by his side, from his folks he would not hide. It's hard to think that this great man is dead, 'cause he climbed the mountain top, and he knew he could not stop. Always living with the threat of death there. Folks, you better stop and think, 'cause we're heading for the brink. What will happen now that the King of Love is dead? He was for equality for all people, you and me. Full of love and goodwill, hate was not his way. He was not a violent man, so tell me if you can, just why was he shot down the other day? It was prejudice, it was hate, bigotry sealed his fate. Go on, cry, cry, tears will not change a thing. Will my country ever learn? Must it kill at every turn? We got to know by now what the consequences will bring. 'Cause he's seen the mountain top, and he knew he could not stop. Always living with the threat of death ahead. Folks, you better stop and think, 'cause we're hanging on the brink. What will happen now that the King of Love is dead? What will happen now that the King of Love is dead?
What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? In these days, we find ourselves too often stuck in these questions on repeat. What's going to happen? Will everything be okay? What can I do? We grasp at signs and markers, articles of news analysis, Facebook memes and forwarded emails, as if the new zodiac, capable of forecasting all that life may yet bring our way. as if we could prepare, as if life had ever made any promises of making sense or turning out the way we thought, as if we were not also actors in the still unfolding story. For this hour, we gather to surrender to the mystery, to release ourselves from the needing to know, the yearning to have it all already figured out, and also the burden of believing either we have all the control or no control. Here, in our song and in our silence, our stories and our sharing, we make space for a new breath, a new healing, a new possibility to take root. That is courage, forged in the fire of our coming together and felt in the spirit that comes alive in this act of faith, that we believe still, a new world is possible, that we are creating it already, here and now. Let us worship together. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the South Fork. Whatever your name for the holy, whoever you are, whoever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome to bring your full self here. I am the Reverend Kimberly Quinn Johnson. Our musician this morning is Stephen Skoldberg. Our tech host and Zoom host is Mark Potter. If you are joining us online, know that you have access to closed captioning. Joining us here in the meeting house, we have hearing-assisted devices, if that is helpful for you. Wherever and however you are joining us, this is a good time to put away or silence your devices, but maybe put away your devices so that we can be together free from distractions. Do we have any visitors who would like to introduce yourselves this morning? If you are visiting online, please join our online guest book. It's a way for us to know more about you and you to tell us more about yourself and your interest. We'll do announcements at the end of the service. For now, let's take a moment here in the meeting house and online in the chat to greet someone who you haven't yet greeted this morning.
Not like in 3 seconds, but maybe, yeah, I'll be around a little while.
As we make our way to our seats, with the help of Anne and John, we light our chalice with these words from Deanna Vandiver. And if that doesn't work, we have old-fashioned matches. We light this chalice, symbol of our faith, alive in this world, naming our vision of collective liberation and daring to remember each other into beloved community. Let's sing together from the teal hymnal in front of you, all 5 verses. Hush, freedom, justice, mourning, and glad. Oh, I'm sorry, number 1040. Number 1040, hush.
Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Hush, hush, somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like freedom. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Sounds like justice. Somebody's calling my name. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, death come creeping in my room. Soon one morning, someone's come creeping in my room. Oh my Lord, what shall I do? What shall I do? I'm so glad trouble don't last always. I'm so glad death don't trouble us. I'm so glad death my Lord, what shall I do?
You have to get to that last line, which is like a key, fundamental core of my own theology. I am so glad that trouble don't last always. We're going to during our meditation as well. For now, I just invite you to take a breath and to appreciate the light from these candles. Know that it represents the love and warmth held and created in this community. That it represents our sorrows and also our aspirations. May our sorrows be lightened. May our aspirations be amplified. May you take all of it with you into the world this week. As we move into this time of meditation, in words and silence and music, the invitation is to take another breath and just to notice how you feel in your own body. And if you notice tightness or tension, to exhale and to let it go, if just for this 1 hour. These words are from my colleague and my friend, the Reverend Julian Jamaica Soto. I'm going to hold your hand while I say this. Imagine that I am holding your hand while I say this. You are beloved. You belong where you are safe, where you are witnessed, where you are held. It doesn't matter what they tell you. This is not too much to ask. And if the calamity of these days, their entire disaster, weighs heavy on your body, please sit down. Drink a glass of water slowly. Remember that it is from the body of the earth that she holds us, keeps us alive. The toxic breath of a carceral state seeks to steal your oxygen, your life. You mustn't ever let it. You must instead be from where you are. Press your feet, if your feet allow, into the ground beneath. And if not, reach out just how you must. We must sustain one another now. The longer exhale that tells our bodies that we roll on. We can be that. They cannot take it, though they will try. Hold on. Remember this. The darkness, though it will try, cannot put out the thinnest thread of light. If you can, you must shine. If you cannot, take the hand nearest yours. We move together. Let us hold this time in silence.
If I can help somebody as they pass along, if I can cheer somebody with a word or song, if I can show somebody they're traveling wrong, then my living won't be in vain. If I can do my duty as a Christian, or if I should sing salvation to the world he wrought, If I can spread the message as the master taught, my living will not be in vain. It doesn't really matter most of the deeds I've done. It doesn't really matter the prizes I may have won. I like for somebody to say I've tried to love someone when I leave my day. In the crawl for justice, I helped somebody run. The walk for the hungry, I fed someone. In the march for peace, I tell them I play the drum. When I have to meet my day. In the crawl for justice, I help somebody run. The walk for the hungry, I fed someone. In the march for peace, tell them I played the drum. When I have to meet my day.
Amen. So in 1967, 58 years ago, a year before he was assassinated, Martin Luther King wrote his last book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? It was published by our very own Beacon Press. It fell out of print until 2010, when Beacon republished it with a new introduction and a foreword. And we are so fortunate for that republication. It is both prescient and timely. King wrote this book when the civil rights movement was seeming to fall apart. It had lost momentum. There was waning support from white allies, including clergy, who had been a major source of support. The black middle class was less engaged, seemingly satisfied with the meager rewards of integration. There was a significant challenge from a younger generation, especially SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, I said that right, who were pushing more than civil rights, a black power movement. And this country was embroiled in the Vietnam War. In the midst of all of this, King decided to take a step back from the speeches and the rallies and the political engagement. He spent a month in Jamaica, no phone, no contacts, to collect his thoughts. And out of that month, the first draft of this book, he points to 3 interlinked evils, what he called the triple giants of racism, poverty, and militarism. Racism, poverty, and militarism. He argued that global poverty is both a practical and a moral problem, that we cannot expect peace at home or abroad as long as people are laboring under the boot of economic exploitation, confronted with inequality of the world's wealthy, living lavishly at their expense. What it will breed instead is resentment, What he saw it breeding was resentment and an expectation that people should have better lives, that they should be able to reap the rewards of their labor, that they should share in the abundance of the world around them. And his warning, if it was not given, then people would rise up and take their share. But beyond a practical concern about who and when folks would rise up and take their share, King wanted us to understand the problem of global poverty as one of a moral imperative, grounded deeply in his Christian faith, not very unlike our Unitarian Universalist faith in this regard. That we are all children of God, creations of the divine, with inherent dignity and worthiness, that we are all interconnected. When he wrote the letter from a Birmingham jail a few years ago, he said that we are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. This idea that no one can thrive while their siblings suffer, and even more important, that they ought not try to. King emphasized, along with this concern for global poverty, this concern for militarism, he emphasized the folly, the hypocrisy of world leaders whose cries and attestations of peace could scarcely be heard above their own saber rattling. And I wonder if this sounds familiar to you. Cries and attestations of peace while we make war at home and in the world. This book is prescient and timely and so relevant to the moment we find ourselves in today. What this work and what this day, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, reminds us is how important it is for people of good conscience, and especially people of faith, to be engaged in politics, to be engaged in the issues of our day. I want to make clear that when I say politics, I don't mean partisanship. I don't mean taking sides between two political parties. I do mean a concern with power and how it is used, especially how it is wielded by our so-called leaders. King is talking about domestic affairs in the 60s, but I think we can apply this to our understanding of domestic and global politics today. He writes, "The problem of transforming the ghetto, therefore, is a problem of power, a confrontation between the forces of power demanding change and the forces of power dedicated to preserving the status quo. Power, properly understood, is the ability to achieve purpose. It is the strength required to bring about political, social, or economic changes. In this sense, power is not only desirable, but necessary in order to implement the demands of love and justice. One of the greatest problems of history is that the concepts of love and power are usually contrasted as polar opposites. Love is identified with a resignation of power, and power with a denial of love. It was this misinterpretation that caused Nietzsche, the philosopher of the will to power, to reject the Christian concept of love. It was this same misinterpretation which induced Christian theologians to reject Nietzsche's philosophy of the will to power, in the name of Christian love. What is needed, still from King, what is needed is a realization that power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. Power at its best. I love this part. Power at its best is love implementing the demands of justice. Justice at its best is love correcting everything that stands against love. There is nothing essentially wrong with power. The problem is that in America, power is unequally distributed. This has led the Negro Americans in the past to seek their goals through love and moral suasion, devoid of power, and white Americans to seek their goals through power, devoid of love and conscience. In his struggle for racial justice, the Negro must seek power. The Negro must seek to transform his condition of powerlessness into creative and positive power. Creative and positive power. I think this is so relevant to where we are today. Amen. Oh my God, I finally get amens in here. Mostly for King's words, not mine, but okay. So we are planning this event here this week for January 20th, right? It's organized, it's called for by the Women's March. And one of the stated goals is to resist fascism. And in planning this march, I got the question, can we say fascism? Should I put that in the flyers? Should we talk about it as fascism? I actually do get this question a lot, not just this week. We are a church, we are a religious organization. Is this calling out fascism, authoritarianism, is this water that we can or should wade in? And my answer, my response is always yes. We must talk about fascism. We must name it. We must understand how it works so that we can recognize it and so that we can organize against it. We must talk about imperialism. Talk about imperialism and what it means for our government to invade another country, seize its leader, to claim that we are in charge, to claim that we will continue to determine how their oil industry is run and how the profits will be used. This is not about Maduro and whether or not he's a good guy. This is about power, how it's used, in whose interest, and how it is checked. We must talk about what it means for the president of this country to declare that we are going to do something about Greenland. Greenland, who is an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark, who is a longtime ally, to claim that we are going to do something about Greenland whether they like it or not. And this is a trickle down. If that language sounds familiar to you, it is the same language that he used on the campaign trail when talking about protecting women, and then advised to be more careful or more circumspect in his speech. He doubled down to say, I'm going to do it whether they like it or not. Power allowed to surge unchecked will not contain itself to someone over there, will not contain itself to one issue. Power unchecked is a monster that will trample anything in its way. Power unchecked is trampling people in Minneapolis, and people have been killed. And before Minneapolis, it was Los Angeles, California, and Washington, D.C., and Memphis, Tennessee, and Portland, Oregon, and Chicago, Illinois, and where will be next? We must talk about ICE raids sweeping through our country, sweeping through our communities. The words of Anne Frank echo today. She wrote, "Terrible things are happening outside. At any time of day or night, poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are torn apart. Women and children are separated. Children come home from school to find their parents have disappeared." We, friends, must talk about a government that names judges and a free press as enemies, and then uses the power of the government in a campaign of retribution and intimidation, investigating legislators, raiding the home of journalists, attempting to prosecute anyone who dares stand up to them. And this kind of intimidation is meant to get people to shut up, but really to not speak up in the first place. It's meant to keep people afraid and off kilter, meant to keep us divided and isolated. It would be an insult to you to pretend that this is okay, that this is within the bounds of normalcy. This is not normal, and it is not okay. This is not normal, and this is not okay. And I understand the temptation to be discouraged. And I understand even more the temptation to feel hate. Trust and believe me when I tell you that the way forward is love and not hate. And it is not out of some naive, bubblegum, Pollyanna platitude that I say this. I understand the urge, the desire to fight fire with fire, to say that when they go low, we go lower, or when they go low, we kick them. And here is where the words of the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. are once again instructive. Further reflecting on power, he says, "I am concerned that Negroes achieve full status as citizens and human beings in the United States. But I am also concerned about our moral uprightness and the health of our souls. Therefore, I must oppose any attempt to gain our freedom by methods of malice, hate, and violence that have characterized our oppressors. Hate is just as injurious to the hater as it is to the hated. Like an unchecked cancer, hate corrodes the personality and eats its vital unity. Many of our inner conflicts are rooted in hate. This is why psychiatrists say love or perish. I have seen hate expressed in the countenances of too many Mississippi and Alabama sheriffs to advise the Negro to sink to that miserable level. Hate is too great a burden to bear. Are we seeking power for power's sake? Or are we seeking to make the world and our nation a better place to live in? If we seek the latter, violence can never provide the answer. The ultimate weakness of violence is that it is a descending spiral, begetting the very thing it seeks to destroy. Instead of diminishing evil, it multiplies it. Through violence, you can murder the liar, but you cannot murder the lie, nor establish the truth. Through violence, you may murder the hater, but you do not murder the hate. In fact, violence merely increases hate. And so it goes. Returning violence for violence multiplies violence, adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. The beauty of nonviolence is that in its own way and in its own time, it seeks to break the chain reaction of evil with a majestic sense of spiritual power. It seeks to elevate truth, beauty, and goodness to the throne. Therefore, I will continue to follow this method because I think that it is most practically sound, and morally excellent. This is hard work. This is hard work, and it is spiritual work. We don't fight our way into peace, and we don't hate our way into love. And dang it if it's not freaking hard. It will require what Reverend King calls a revolution of values. A revolution of values that values people more than things, that recognizes the inherent dignity and worthiness of every person, regardless of whatever accident of birth. A revolution of values where we want the same peace, the same health, the same safety, the same opportunity for any child, wherever they are born, where we want the same for them as we would want for our own children. A revolution of values where we understand that our fortunes are inextricably tied to those of our neighbors who are actually our kin. This is the kind of deep solidarity that is the foundation of beloved community. And it is not easy. I have a sign in my office that says, "Love is hard. Do it anyway." But what I really like is this poem from Alice Walker. Loving humans is tricky sometimes. A slap in the face, sometimes a slap in the face is all you get for doing it right. Loving humans is a job like any other, only more bumps on the way to work, which is full on all the time. Loving humans makes us want to invite ourselves to tea with rancid dictators we think we can convince of our story side, while all they think about, while we sit and dream, is how they can get away with poisoning our tea. And how if only they had enough tea already brewed, they could waterboard us to death with it. Loving humans means writing poems and songs, novels and plays, slogans, chants, and protest signs our critics want to stone us for, while we think of them as people. Under different circumstances, we might be able to help. There is indeed a Buddha in every one of us, loving humans, with all our clear and unmistakable reluctance to evolve, makes this hard for most humans to see. But not you. Loving humans is hard, and it is. Writing poems and songs and novels and plays and slogans and chants and protest signs, and it is sometimes crying, and it is sometimes yelling, and it is sometimes prayer. During the pandemic, I took up a prayer practice. I had not had a prayer practice before that. Not because I was afraid during the pandemic, but because I was angry, very, very angry. And I needed something to do with all of that anger and that frustration and that resentment. And so I would go to the ocean, and I would sit and watch and listen to the waves, and I would call to mind the persons, the individual persons with whom I was angry, or where there was a system or an institution, the persons responsible for making decisions in that system or that institution, because there are people responsible for making decisions in institutions and systems, however unwieldy they seem. And I would imagine them as real people who have their own hurts and their own worries and their own fears and their own suffering. And I would pray that they have peace. And I would pray that they knew that they were loved, that they were connected. And I would pray that they would make good decisions, and I would pray that they would listen. And then I would pray the same thing for myself. Maybe prayer is not your thing. Maybe meditation. You might be familiar with the loving kindness meditation or metta. This is a compassion meditation where you think and you send compassion to yourself, and then a loved one, and then someone who is neutral, and then someone who is difficult for you, and then to all beings. Maybe none of these are for you. You must find the thing that is right for you. You must find the thing that allows you to soften your heart, to open your heart, to see your neighbor as kin, to cultivate compassion for those who would see you suffer. You must find the thing and practice the thing that allows you to choose love. In his book, King tells this story about a transatlantic flight. In 1956, I flew from New York to London in this propeller-type aircraft that requires 9.5 hours for a flight, now made in 6 hours by jet. Returning from London to the United States, the stewardess announced that the flying time would be 12.5 hours. The distance was the same. Why an additional 3 hours? When the pilot entered the cabin to greet the passengers, I asked him to explain. "You must understand about the winds," he said. "When we leave New York, a strong tailwind is in our favor. But when we return, a strong headwind is against us." Then he added, "Don't worry. These 4 engines are capable of battling the winds. In any social revolution, there are times when the tailwinds of triumph and fulfillment favor us, and other times when strong headwinds of disappointment and setbacks beat against us relentlessly. We must not permit adverse winds to overwhelm us as we journey across life's mighty Atlantic. We must be sustained by our engines of courage in spite of the winds. This refusal to be stopped, this courage to be, this determination to go on in spite of, is the hallmark of any great movement. Friends, we are facing strong and relentless headwinds. We must sustain ourselves and each other with our engines of courage and love. We must persist in the face of headwinds, trusting that the tailwinds are there if we only stay in long enough to get them. I will leave you with these last words from another colleague, the Reverend Wayne Arneson. Take courage, friends. The way is often hard. The path is never clear. And the stakes are very high. Take courage. For deep down, there is another truth. You are not alone. We're going to sing one more time together in your teal hymnal, The Fire of Commitment, which is number 1028. Please rise as you feel willing or able.
Guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faces
afternoon to Stephen. I leave you with these words from Elena Westbrook. Go in hope, for the arc of the universe is long, and we can bend it toward justice. Go in courage, for together we have the strength to confront injustice in our daily lives and the larger world. Go in love, because a holy and generous love is both the reason and the means by which we transform our lives. We extinguish our chalice with the unison words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of wisdom, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I don't know if this is symbolic, but the batteries just ran out, so I had to. Yeah. And I'll be back in a couple of weeks, just to let you know. Okay. I was born in a river, in a little tent. And just like that river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's out there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. I go to the movie and I go downtown. Somebody keep telling me, don't hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Then I go to my brother and I'll say, brother, help me, please. But he winds up knocking me back down on my knees. There have been times when I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I think I'm able to carry on. It's been a long, long, long time coming, but I know a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. It's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.